This is it, guys. The biggest battle of them all. We've seen Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson, the Avengers versus Thanos,
assemble.
all the Jedi versus all the Sith,
Finally.
but now it's time. The two most notorious green guys in all of cinematic history. In one corner, we have the one and only sexy beast from beneath, Shrek. Facing the big green guy, the strongest Avenger, you know Black Widow would pay a nickel to tickle his pickle, Hulk.
I'm always angry.
Take these two, put them in the ring, who would win? Let's find out. So here's how this is gonna work. We're gonna evaluate both Shrek and Hulk in 5 different categories. We're gonna face them off in their size, their strength, their intellect, their speed, and their special abilities. And then after that, we'll go into early fight, mid fight, and end fight to see how these two would pair off against each other. First thing we gotta take in consideration is size, because in real life, battle is for love, and we know girls don't like guys under 6 feet, so we gotta see how big these guys are. Start off with Hulk. Here's a picture of Hulk and Thor next to each other. We know that Chris Hemsworth, the actor who plays Thor, is a solid 6'3". And if we do some measurements, we can see that Hulk is about 1.3 times the size of Thor. This put Hulk's at a whopping 8 feet 2 inches. Now let's look at Shrek's size. We can see in the Shrek 3 poster that Shrek and Donkey are standing next to each other. Now the average height of a donkey is about 3.9 feet from hoof to shoulder. And from this, we can see that Shrek is approximately 2.6 donkeys tall. And this, brothers and sisters, puts Shrek at a whopping 10 feet 2 inches. That is 2 feet taller than Hulk, 1.5 feet taller than any person to ever live on the planet. So for this comparison, Shrek's a little bit bigger. But we do gotta notice that both of them did pass the 6 foot height requirement required for love. So they might both not do bad in that department. So Shrek may be bigger, but is he stronger? Shrek's strongest feat is from the first Shrek movie, where we can see him pull back and stop Dragon in order to save Donkey's life. Now, to figure out how much force Shrek was pulling with, we use the formula force equals mass times acceleration. To see how much the dragon weighs, we'll scale it to a Komodo dragon. Komodo dragon is about 10 feet long from snout to the tip of its tail, and weighs about 330 pounds. Now we don't have any good images to compare Dragon's length to, but fandom says that Dragon is 100 feet from snout to leg. Now, from this image, we can see that a Komodo dragon's tail is over half of its length. So using the proportions, we can find a total length for Dragon at 238 feet long. This means Dragon is 23.8 times longer than a Komodo dragon. We can also assume from this that Dragon would be 23.8 times taller and wider. So this means that Dragon would be 13,481.272 times more weight than a Komodo dragon. Using the weight of 330 pounds for a Komodo dragon, this gives Dragon a total weight of 4,448,819.76 pounds, or 2,017,950.7 kilograms. Now before Shrek starts pulling Dragon, Dragon is moving at about 6 meters per second, and Shrek pulls Dragon to a halt in 2.3 seconds. This means that Shrek was pulling with an acceleration rate of 2.6 meters per second. Multiplying the acceleration rate by the weight of the dragon gives us a force that Shrek was pulling at 5,246,6 671.82 newtons, or 1,179,498.76 pounds. For Hulk's strength, we'll use calculations done by the channel Comic Books vs. the World. In his video about how strong Hulk is, he calculated that the Leviathan punch, done by Hulk in the first Avengers, had a power output of 9,340,374 newtons of force. That's 4 million newtons of force bigger than Shrek. So it looks like this round's going to Hulk. They always say work smarter, not harder. So who is smarter out of Shrek and Hulk? Well, for starters, Shrek can talk a lot more than Hulk can. But Stephen Hawking couldn't talk at all, and he's smarter than all of us, so we gotta rule that out. Let's look at Shrek's feats of intelligence. Later in the movie, Shrek compares ogres to onions. Making a metaphor like that is something that requires extreme intelligence and high education. Now, obvious elephant in the room, Bruce Banner's definitely smarter than Shrek and Hulk combined. But in a fight, if Hulk were to turn into Bruce Banner, he'd get clapped in about 2 seconds. So how smart is Hulk? Well, we see him do basic things like using car doors as boxing gloves to fight Abomination, but he also does some stupid stuff like trying to lift Thor's hammer off the ground. And in general, he's kind of ignorant of a lot of stuff, and that's gonna cost him a lot in this fight. So this round's going to Shrek. Now time for speed. For Shrek's speed, we'll use Daco's video, which said that Shrek was running at 25.7 meters per second when running away from Dragon. This is when he was carrying Donkey and Fiona and wearing a helmet. Thought maybe slow him down a bit, but how much? So if we add all this up, when Shrek was running away from Dragon, he had a total of 1,882 pounds. So this means he was running at 170% of his body weight. If he was running by himself, this would be a 70% weight reduction. So it improved time by 36.4%. Okay, so this means normally Shrek's speed of 25.7 meters per second, if he was running 257 meters, that would take him 10 seconds. But with this weight reduction, he would do that same distance in 7.3 seconds. This gives Shrek a final speed of 35.2 meters per second, or 78.74 miles per hour. This guy's passing you on the freeway just doing his daily cardio, man. He's a fast boy. Now time for Hulk's speed. In the movie The Incredible Hulk, Hulk goes from Rio de Janeiro to Guatemala in 10 hours. That's a distance of 4,152 miles, which puts Hulk at a speed of 415.2 miles per hour. So this round is going to Hulk. Now for the final round, special abilities. Hulk's abilities consist of getting stronger as he gets angrier, and that's about it. But what can Shrek do? Well, we see Shrek is incredibly smelly. We see him rip one in his swamp with fish popping out dead because of it. So let's take a look into Shrek's beast from beneath. From Film Theory's video about this very subject, he concluded that Shrek's farts are concentrated with hydrogen sulfide. So the question is, how much hydrogen sulfide could Hulk breathe and still survive? Well, an average human can be killed with 100 ppm of hydrogen sulfide. So we'll have to scale that for Hulk. The average human lung capacity is 6 liters. It takes 100 parts per million to kill one. But Hulk is on the more athletic side of things. Michael Phelps has a lung capacity of 12 liters, so we will use that to scale Hulk's lung capacity and say that Hulk has a lung capacity of 37.7 liters. So if a 6-liter lung capacity is killed by 100 parts per million of hydrogen sulfide, then about 628 parts per million would kill Hulk. And does Shrek's butt put out that much? Yes. In the first Shrek movie, when Donkey blames Shrek for ripping one, while they go to save the princess, Shrek replies with, "Trust me, if it were me, you'd be dead." So we know that Shrek has enough hydrogen sulfide to kill a donkey. And it takes about 1,000 parts per million to kill a donkey. So it looks like Shrek is taking this round. So how would the fight actually go? Well, the early fight would probably go towards Shrek. Although Hulk is stronger and faster, Shrek is a lot more bigger and agile. So Hulk would charge at Shrek, but Shrek would be able to dodge it with rather ease. Shrek would also use his immense size to kind of try to pin down Hulk, but for the most part, it would be a pretty even fight. The mid-fight would clearly go to Hulk. Shrek would still be using his agility and size to parry Hulk's attacks, but this is the point where Hulk's ability would kick in. Hulk would enrage to the point where Shrek can't parry his attacks anymore. Due to Hulk's smaller size, he would be mainly landing shots in Shrek's stomach, which wouldn't be bad at first, but soon would start to hurt Shrek. After Shrek starts hulling down and cover his stomach, Hulk would take advantage of this and attack Shrek's head, knocking him down. The immense power of Hulk would just be too much for Shrek during the mid-fight. In the end fight, Shrek would realize that he can't match Hulk blow for blow, so he tries to run away from Hulk. He would build off, only to look back and see Hulk jumping in the air, crashing down right in front of him. Shrek would throw a few blows, only to eat a face full of Hulk's fists. Hulk is faster and Shrek can't escape. Hulk keeps pounding down on Shrek, who is only standing because of his massive size. Then Hulk traps Shrek against a wall. He would pound Shrek over and over again. First to the head, then to the stomach, then a hook to the head, and the stomach again. That's when Shrek's lunch releases, in the form of a gas. The squashing sound emerges as the air turns a dark, moist green. Hulk takes one big breath to finish off Shrek, but breathes in the sulfide instead. His nose twitches and his eyes start to roll in the back of his head. This is when Shrek would take advantage of the situation. And rather than throwing blows at Hulk, he would put him in a chokehold to prevent oxygen from getting to his brain. After a bit, Hulk's eyes close and Shrek wins the fight.